Great then, lads and lasses, how we're doing, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Now, lads and lasses, before we even get into the daily news video today, I really do just want to say thank you so much for the support recently on the channel. 2,000 views on the last kit launch vlog, and of course on the daily news and fan discussion videos that have been blowing up recently. So honestly, you all know how appreciative I am of you all, so genuinely thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, getting down in the comments below. It's a fantastic community what we are sort of building up here. So if you've not joined, you've not subscribed already, please do down below, and of course like if you do enjoy the video. I normally say that a little bit later, apologies for the inconsistency there, but I've just got to get my point across. Thank you so much for the recent support. And also, as you can see, sorry this will be a long intro, before we get into the daily news, which is big news by the way, I am wearing the pro/authentic version of the 24-25 Newcastle United home shirt. I'll give you a full look now. Now, I've got to say, lads and lasses, I'm absolutely loving it. Of course, I have got the generic, or what do you call it, the replica version just to my right now, but I thought, why not? Let's put on the pro version. And of course, I will do an actual separate video coming up, hopefully tomorrow, on what the differences are from the authentic to the replica version, the pro and the normal version, by the way, if you don't know what that means. But of course, sorry for the blabber on, by the way, I had to get that out of the way. Today's daily news video consists of some very interesting topics, starting off with Newcastle United could potentially sell Yankuba Minteh to resolve our financial fair play and PSR regulations. Newcastle United are holding out for £40 million. Clubs in Italy, Germany and Liverpool have strong interest in the player. More will be on that in just a second. And in the second part of the video, we've got news that Newcastle United have, concretely made a £16 million offer for Burnley's 21-year-old goalkeeper, James Trafford. We'll take a look on both players. Will it be a good move? Should we sell Minteh? Why should we? Why shouldn't? Should we buy James Trafford? Would it be a good move? It's all coming up, lads and lasses. So without further ado, thanks for sticking with that long intro, by the way. Let's get into it. First and foremost, yet again, apologies for that long intro, but let's take a look at the news we've been given from Yankuba Minteh, and this is given to us by Telegraph Football. Starting off with this, it says, Newcastle United are reluctantly considering a handful of offers to sell the 19-year-old Gambian, Yankuba Minteh. There's been strong interest shown from clubs in Italy, Germany, and of course, Liverpool. Now, if you're thinking, well, why on earth do Liverpool want, Yankuba Minteh? He's a 19-year-old. He's only proved himself in the Dutch league for one season. Apart from that, he was in Denmark and, Gambia. It's not very a credible CV football CV, shall we call it? Well, as we all know, Mohamed Salah is probably off to Saudi Arabia next season. There's been very strong links around that. And who was the manager that's going to Liverpool next season? It's Arne Slot. Who did he manage last season? He managed Feyenoord, where Yankuba Minteh absolutely thrived. Arne Slot has said in recent press conferences, Yankuba Minteh will be one of the best forwards in the world, and of course, hence why he wants to bring him to Liverpool to kind of succeed what the other right-wing African has done for Liverpool, Mohamed Salah. It also says in this article, by the way, just confirming what I said at the start of the video, Newcastle are now, yet again using that word, reluctantly considering or accepting bids of £40 million for the Gambian international. Eddie Howe is keen to take a closer look at the player, which I think is our sort of looking at it as well. And of course, the club would prefer to keep Minteh rather than selling him for financial fair play worries. Now, I've got to say, lads and lasses, in my opinion, of course, as always in the daily news videos, let me know down below if you disagree, agree, what would you do in this situation? But in my opinion, I think it's a very frustrating sort of look or point of view we can take on the Yankuba Minteh situation. We bought him last summer for £6.5 million from OB Odense over in Denmark. We've sent him out on loan to the Eredivisie, of course, in Feyenoord, where he's absolutely thrived. He's such a hot prospect, and we've built all this big hype around him, and we're not going to see a minute of him play for Newcastle United, and he's going to jump ship straight away. I think what we all want to see is Yankuba Minteh at least playing black and white in the Premier League, so we can see what we are dealing with here. That is the only concrete, estimation of a player, what you are going to get. See how he can do in the Premier League for the club he actually plays for, rather than jump into Liverpool. But lads and lasses, I must say, do you think selling Yankuba Minteh right now for £40 million is a good deal? In my opinion, I think it is, but I've got a very strong point of view, and it can be decisive as well. You let me know down below what you would do. Now, before we get on to James Trafford, I just want to give you another point of view in this Yankuba Minteh situation. Now, look, yet again, we signed him last season from Denmark for £6.5 million, and at that time, of course, he was a hot prospect, but he was a nobody. We knew nothing about him. He was just playing in Gambia a couple of years before playing in Denmark. He's basically he is a very, very raw talent. Now, he's had one good season in the Eredivisie. It's not the best best league at all. Fair enough, it's very good for bringing up young and upcoming players, but it's one great season in the Eredivisie. This kid, if he comes to Newcastle United and doesn't crack it, we're not going to get offers for £40 million. So if we could cash in on Yankuba Minteh for £40 million right now, it may be a good deal. And of course, that would raise around £80 million in financial fair play / PSR regulations. So that would mean if we did sell Minteh, Bruno and Alexander Isak, although I don't believe they will leave anyways, they will not be worried about, because we've raised nearly, £80 million in FFP / PSR rules from Yankuba Minteh and himself, when we've not seen absolutely anything from him. Now look, this lad of course has a very bright future, finished second in the Eredivisie with Feyenoord, won the KNVB Beker, which is the equivalent of the Dutch FA Cup, which of course it's a trophy under his belt. At 19 years old, he's had Champions League minutes. He's obviously a bright talent, hence why clubs in Italy, Germany and Liverpool do want the 19-year-old Gambian. But I've got to say, if we get a bid for £40 million right now, although we do want to see him, undoubtedly we all do, I'm absolutely desperate to see him, £40 million right now to not worry about Bruno or Isak, I think we'll take it, lads. You will all let me down below if you disagree or agree. Let's get on to James Trafford. So it has been reported by the Daily Mail, ladies and gentlemen, that Newcastle United have made a £16 million offer for Burnley's 21-year-old goalkeeper, James Trafford. Talks have taken place between the clubs this week, with the package presented by the Magpies. Now, discussions are ongoing, but the Championship club are pushing closer for £20 million rather than £16 million, a little penny pinchers what they are. Chelsea, Liverpool and Bayern Munich, of course Chelsea are interested in the 21-year-old, and yet again Eddie Howe is a big admirer of 21-year-old James Trafford. Now, I just want to say first of all, many people have been saying, I don't want Trafford, he conceded 62 goals last season, he's absolutely terrible. Let's just... I don't, look, if you are one of them people, I'm not sort of judging you, so just bear with me for a second, but I'm just going to say, let's not take a naive look at it. The lad is 21 years old. If he comes to Newcastle United this summer, he obviously, undoubtedly, will be number 2 behind Nick Pope. However, with him being 21 years old, he can be nurtured into being our number 1, but if we just take a look and don't be naive, where on earth was Nick Pope at 21 years old? He was on loan at Welling United in the National League South. James Trafford at 21 years old has won the under-21 European Championship without conceding a goal in the whole tournament, saving a penalty in crucial matches as well, by the way. And of course, with Burnley last season, he registered 2,500 minutes in the Premier League. That experience for a 21-year-old who will not be our number 1 next season, and of course will be moulded into a number 1. I've got to say, lads, for £16 million, Burnley, of course, they signed him for a heavy fee as well. They're sort of trying to wipe the hands with him. I've got to say, it's a good deal in my opinion. Now, I am taking a very sort of scarce or a cautious sort of take to the James Trafford situation, because I know many more people do not want the 21-year-old at Newcastle United. But look, it's been confirmed that Loris Karius will leave the club, and Martin Dubravka is reportedly unhappy with his role at Newcastle United. Look, I don't know how he's unhappy. You're obviously behind Nick Pope. Like, what? Anyways, he's turning 36 years old next season, so is there any point in having Martin Dubravka as a third-choice goalkeeper? He'd be a very good one, by the way, as a third-choice goalkeeper, of course, definitely not starting. But with Karius out the door and Dubravka potentially out the door, a 21-year-old who, has turned up in big games in the Under-21 Championship, won it, not conceded a goal in the whole tournament, group stages, quarter-final, semi-final, final, and of course the round of 16 or whatever it is, that probably is the quarter-final. My estimation of European football is not very good, by the way. But with all that experience at 21 years old, I think he will be a good buy. That's all I'm saying, lads and lasses. You will let me know down below if you disagree, but that is my opinion, of course. We've made a £16 million offer for the current Burnley goalkeeper. Do you think that would be a good deal? Anyways, lads and lasses, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned, because we have got a video upcoming. What is the differences between the Newcastle United Pro shirt and the replica version? So without further ado, like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. I've been Jolly Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people.